It's tabletop time! I'm Dave.
I'm Murray.
I'm Jen.
I'm Mel.
And we've been playing Pokemon for an entire season. But tonight we're having a tiny epilogue sort of thing. We're kind of going to riff on some stuff. And if anyone has any scenes they want to get out, we're just going to do them, give people some answers. But the main event is the Q&A. We opened it up to our Patreons. Please consider supporting on Patreon. It's the best way to support the channel. And they got to ask a question for a Q&A related to either just the channel in general or related to... we were kind of leaning towards specifically Pokemon, but...
We got some other stuff in
I think
there.
most of them are not about Pokemon, but that's fine.
Yeah, take your chance to ask us something. It's cool.
Yeah.
We don't have a Jazza today, but we do have a little Kabuto.
Yeah.
And you can see us all in high definition. Yay!
Why are we in high definition?
Because they're not smushed together.
You mean we get two shoulders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
high
And
definition.
Cookie gets to be semi-transparent.
Yeah.
That's pretty
He's
exciting.
flashing.
Finally.
All right. Well,
I want to shout out to
Let's
some
get-
subscribers. Phil Brush and Mirror, you get a little bonus shout out. Congrats.
they do get another bonus one because Murray wasn't listening when I shouted them out the first time.
It just appeared for me, so I'm behind.
All right, amazing. So,
It's a bonus shout out, I guess.
the first thing I do want to say is if you watched the Pokemon series and you loved it and you would like to get a poster or a signed cast poster, they are available on the website. This is one behind us. They will only be available for sale until we basically start Lucha Vera and then they're gone. So
Getting quick, guys.
I think the poster, the regular print poster is evergreen, but the signed ones are not.
Limited time only.
So if you want one, they help support the channel. Hook us up.
And
Dave
signing
will
hands only
kiss-
last so long. What?
Dave will kiss one of them as well.
I will,
With lipstick
I will
on?
promise
Leave a
not
little
to kiss
print?
one of them.
We will tell no one which one you kissed.
Exactly, yes.
Well, look, I would put lipstick on and kiss them if people wanted that, but people don't want that. So
they do.
we're going to just assume that we're not doing that, and we're not doing that. And that's great.
Let the people tell you what they want, you know?
We also, because everyone's sitting in weird seats, we don't have our roleplay frame. And as a special treat, I think I've forgotten it already.
Oh, no.
It's a special treat. He may remember.
No,
later
it was my stupid accent. Remember that I was doing this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
the one you announced that now you've finished roleplay. You now remember how to do
I
it.
think Goofy from Disney.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice to meet you. You betcha. I'm a great friend of yours. It was kind of, and I was kind of like, it's more consistent.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Yeah.
More consistent. And I finally worked out to do it after I finished having Emery in the
once you
thing.
sat down and started streaming again.
Yeah. It's like the camera goes on and my brain gets deneuralized.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. Remember when I did the voice for Skyrim for
You were playing a Khajiit.
Khajiit? Yeah, that I had to, every morning I had to be like, okay, this is the voice before I go role play.
That Skooma Addict was one of my favorite characters you've ever played. I can't remember their name though.
Neither can they. They're addicted to Skooma.
Khajiit one Skooma.
I can't remember. Someone in chat will know. Someone will remind
When
me.
we started this, when we started this, we sort of laughed at Jazza and were like, we will never. I will never forget the kind of, because he'd be like, I've done this for like 8 years at the time and I forget half the videos I've ever made. And I'm like, we would never. And now I'm like, I don't remember. I don't remember a third of the stuff we've done.
What
I
was
think
last
that
week?
happens a lot with like watching YouTube as well, and you're like, what?
Trish says it was Azahari. It was Azahari. All right. So does anyone at the table have anything they want to resolve? Any questions about the Pokemon setting, unanswered questions, or scenes they want to roleplay? Because this is our opportunity to do that.
I
Music
mean,
is maybe slightly.
Fine.
I think, I assume everyone would kind of go back to the town that we were in,
Yes, Castaway Cove.
Castaway Cove, for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think while
Victory
they're-
drinks.
Yeah, well, definitely go back, and Stormy's going to tell the pirate that she went.
Salty Sal.
Yeah. What is the name of his place? It's
Salt
so
and
messed up.
sardines, or
Okay.
sleep and sardines, I believe.
It wasn't the salty.
And he did change. No, definitely wasn't that. He did change it repeatedly.
Yeah.
So it of course it takes probably like 2 or 3 days for a significant presence to arrive at the island. And one fun note is that while the majority of people do leave, Castaway Cove maintains a population. So most of the cruise people leave because they
They were the
just
newest.
rocked up.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people at Castaway Cove either didn't have significant families or had made a significant life for themselves. Some of them left, but Whitler left as soon as he heard that the beautiful old ladies aboard the ship left.
Oh my god, is he now like a concierge or something on the cruise
Oh,
line?
we'll get to the Costa.
I'm sorry. Yes.
So no, he of course left chasing romance because he was very lonely. But everyone else stayed from in Castaway Cove, even the young Pokemon Rangers. However, they of course got back in touch. So they basically Tyler and Ember got back in touch, and through the process of communication with Pokemon Rangers and stuff, effectively established an official base. So they created the headquarters in this new region of Pokemon Rangers to help ensure that it remained a protected place, because Tucker instilled that it should be like a wildlife preserve due to all of the strange Pokemon, and that needed Pokemon Rangers to support that.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I was going to say that would probably be something that I would maybe join up with, or at least assist with, because I would definitely like to go exploring and map out the island, you know, find all the hidden wonders and
cool.
help with establishing it.
Awesome.
I don't know if I'd stay there for forever, but definitely for a good amount of time.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Does the cruise that I assume is first of all, does it still run? And if so, does it just do like a flyby? Like, do people actually come back onto the island? Aside from people who are registered to come back onto the island,
What do a flyby? Sorry.
the cruise line that we were on originally.
Just does a flyby.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so it's
Great.
basically a protected island, and
Yeah.
the people that were allowed to stay there are the people who already had been made a life for themselves
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then, of course, anyone who's professional and has professional reasons, researchers, etc.
Yeah, cool.
Brad mentioned wanting to create the Learnarium. Gosh, I'd love to get him to roll for that, but of course, Jazz is not here.
He just
So I feel
rolled
like as
one.
like a junior assistant with his level of talent and techniques, the funding required is likely not going to happen.
I think he'd make one anyway.
I agree. I think, you know what,
Just go
I think
for
I'm
it.
willing to say that his funding application was denied, but then he still went and has started
Made
like,
one out of sticks and
you know,
stones.
I'm not going to do a thing that's like 6 years later. We're going to just say what happened in the following month, 2 months, 6 months, because we may come back to Pokemon and we may want to pick up the characters. So I like the idea that Brad sort of applied for funding, got denied, maybe just because he did the wrong paperwork, accidentally filled out the wrong paperwork, but then came back and is like with Bamboo building the labarium next
Yeah.
to the Learnarium.
Yeah.
And
How
really
does
enjoying it.
how do the people in the Learnarium feel about that?
Well, they're children, so
No, like Han or whoever was
Han,
running it.
fine, because
Okay.
it's just another avenue for,
Okay.
you know, more Learnarium sort of
I just
things.
imagine Brad being like, I'm setting up right here.
Right next to
Science
you.
lesson.
And they're
Lessons
like,
for the
right
Learnarium.
next to us? Yeah, right here.
Yeah, but the labarium is for the research and studying of Pokemon.
I'd like to think it's
so
like
they can do
4
field
sticks.
trips.
Yeah, true.
It's
Yeah.
4 sticks.
It just sticks with like a sign, like on a piece of cloth that just says Libarium, and
It's
that's
like a
it.
tent.
Yeah.
It's like the wooden frame, you know, after the Wile E. Coyote's building gets struck by lightning. It's
Yes.
just that shriveled timber frame
Every
just
second
holding
day,
up somehow.
there's like some explosion from an
Yeah.
experiment. It just gets singed and it's start again.
There was a substantial call out, including a request for Pokemon Rangers in the initial weeks after the incident to help clean up a horrible environmental disaster, aka an oil spill on the northeastern shores of the island. So perhaps that's how Victor got involved initially, helping out with that, and also a request for Pokemon breeders and carers who can clean up and look after Pokemon that have been affected by that.
What happened to Team Ironclad?
Team Ironclad were put in irons. And,
Oh, they really got ironclad.
Yeah. So Tucker led the investigation and arrested several of them, although an outboard motor boat did just zip off. But Team Ironclad were not representative of that wasn't all of them. That was just a boat's worth that had rocked up to shore. Yeah.
Cool.
Willingly? I thought they were stuck there.
They went off course and ran
Yeah,
aground, but
yeah,
then they made
okay.
the best of it.
Yeah, then they were like,
Or the worst of it.
sweet.
Depends how you want to call it. Melanie, what are you doing? What?
So Melanie made it pretty obvious that she wanted to go back home. She didn't want to stay.
She mentioned that once or twice.
Once or twice. It just came passing. And there's a very important reason for this.
Tinder date?
No.
Tinder
More than
exists
that.
in the Pokemon world.
No, that's what happened to the forest.
It's called. It's got some
Flame?
stupid pun name. It's like called Fletch Tinder or something, and the mascot's a Fletchinder.
So the reason she wanted to get back home was because she has a husband and child. So she wanted to reunite with them.
What?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
What?
Yes. She's a mum.
What?
Yeah.
Not just a Pokemon.
Yeah. So she reunited with her family.
That makes a lot of sense why she wanted to get off the island so
Yes.
goddamn much.
Yes. Yes, she
Everyone
really-
else was like, oh, we could stay. She's like, no.
Weren't these two meant to be super close friends?
I mean, you're allowed to be
Yeah.
super. Maybe no one mentioned it because it was like really traumatic.
Yeah. Let's
They're like,
gloss over
everything will be
that.
fine. Yeah, let's get off the island. Maybe you shouldn't
bring it up.
You may never see your family ever
There you
again.
go.
No. And so
Jazza is in Taiwan. Just so everyone, we had a question. Sorry, Jen.
no. So she went back home, reunited with her family. And then I think at the end of the day, I think the island sort of called to her, and also it's where Ploddle was found and Lorelei as well. So I think she would go back to help the efforts there. And I think that she would probably help Brad with the Lunarium by trying to make it also a breeding facility, but as well as a laboratory. So kind of maybe it's more like if it did happen, her dream would be like, it's a breeding facility, but it has like a little desk.
Maybe Melanie did the paperwork.
Yeah.
And actually got the funding.
that's how it got put
and
through
then
finally.
so Brad is like, you're like, you can have this little corner.
Yeah, it's like, I'll get this through, but
Yeah, the real estate market where we are is like really high, but if it's on an island, I can get funding and then all this other stuff too, so I can write a better proposal. And
Is that a work arrangement? Like, what happens to your family while you are there?
it's like I do it like not a day trip, but like every week I go down.
That would explain why you checked egg endlessly, because the motherly instincts be strong.
And no baby.
That's it. And then I don't know. And the plan is to try and grow more ploddles.
Grow more ploddles. You'd have to find another ploddle.
Yep. To mate with
You'd
my
have to teach Ploddle about the. Bear with me. I was going to say the Pidgeys and the Beedrills, but like.
Oh no, that's so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry I ruined that for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the goal because she likes Ploddle and Lorelei as well. But I think Ploddle is really special, so trying to preserve him.
Poor Lorelei.
No. Like I think Lorelei. I imagine in this universe, our Pokemon are unique, but they're not super rare. Ploddle seems to be super rare.
It's so interesting how like games versus anime. Like in the anime, starter Pokemon are common, are relatively in their environments, but in the games, it's like these are super rare.
Yeah, exactly. So I find Ploddle is potentially could go extinct, so it needs to be preserved. So that's the mission for her.
Well, Ploddle was an egg, so maybe you go and search for the mama.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Virus and threat protection would like you to check
Make sure you're protected. That sounds like a sponsor
Get
segment.
out of here.
Pokemon.
Get out of here notifications. Cool.
That's
good.
Melanie, yeah.
nice. Yeah, and what about
Stormy?
Stormy?
I think so. Stormy would love to go back to her parents and tell them very excitedly about her adventure.
Really give them some trauma.
Yeah, just so much talking. They're like, "You're back," and she's like, "Yeah, you'll never believe what we did."
Also, I have all these Pokemon now.
Yeah.
I put the
And
right
I got
on with a
this new
stick.
friend, and I got this new friend, and they're just like, "Oh my god, she's alive! She's alive!" So she's fine. I think she would, maybe come back to the island on holidays, visit everyone.
We can go see if we
Hi.
can take on that ride on.
But the next year, she'll be ready for the Pokemon
Yeah.
challenge, right?
Yeah.
And with a team.
Yeah.
Pretty good head start.
yeah,
I
hell yeah.
think she'll be the cool kid, for sure.
Oh, you guys are just picking your first Pokemon? I've already got a full team.
This one, and this one. Yeah.
Stumped,
It's
though,
like
when the first gym leader has a Shroomish and she
Yeah.
enters PTSD
Yeah.
shock.
Just collapses in the corner.
Yeah.
Right. One day that'll be her final battle to become champion. It's just a shroomish. Actually, no, it's that same kid with all the shroomish, the 6 shroomish.
Oh no.
The ultimate rival.
Yeah, she definitely avoids him every time she sees him. Did he leave the island? Please tell me he left the island.
Why would he if you can catch shroomish
No.
all day?
No. There's a forest of shroomish. Yeah.
He's found his people.
Does
Yeah.
Stormy finally catch a Psyduck?
I like to think so.
Yeah. Nice.
Or maybe she goes back and befriends that same Psyduck. You know, healing. The poor Psyduck.
It wasn't your fault. It's fine.
Yeah.
I have a question because the loose ends is what this is about. Rhydon,
Yes.
didn't you have a deal with a guy?
We were going to head back.
And help
Yeah.
Lol.
in exchange for some materials.
I
that you-
reckon we could
Yeah.
all like headed back and with our new mighty teams.
taken on it. Well, I think a Kingler would
Yeah,
do good
yeah.
work against a Rhydon.
Brad would be eager.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
The old little green into Kingler. Plus, there's the King Rock that we said we'd find for that one guy who was going to give us a fishing rod.
Well, that was an optional side quest. You know, it's funny because are there any questions you have about the NPCs or anything else before we move on to all the Q&As from everyone else?
Ooh. I want to know not if the lead director of activities on our cruise ship left. I'm sure she did.
No, that was, I forgot to say it.
Oh.
The only person that didn't leave
Really?
because she basically had a mental breakdown on the island.
Wait, who are we talking about?
The cruise director,
The very
the
we
activities
got
director
that.
who took
Yeah.
over and made a little
Yeah.
settlement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She seemed
so-
a little crazy.
Well, she just snapped and it was
Yeah.
too stressful. And then after a while, she realized, like, oh my God, island life. I don't
Yeah.
actually have to work.
Very therapeutic.
I can enjoy this paradise.
So does
yeah.
she work as a little is that
She runs the visitor center.
yeah. That makes sense. Or like the check-in
She
center.
founded and runs the
Awesome.
visitor center.
Okay, what about the dad with the right shoe? And
Oh, they
the two
went.
kids?
They absolutely went home. They were from the cruise ship.
Yeah.
He's a gym leader. He went back, and those kids are battling the Elite Four. Sort of next season, they're going to be doing their Pokemon journey. Maybe,
Oh, it's Stormy.
maybe season 2 of Pokemon will be Stormy. Like, you know how some role plays
Rivals.
and TV shows just keep follow one or two of the characters. Stormy and you, the rest of you play different characters going on their gym adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Arden? What's Arden?
Arden hangs around for a bit. Yeah, helping with the conservation
Mysterious
efforts, getting donations and funding to assist in cleaning up the oil spills for sure.
Is
Yeah,
Mew ever seen again?
gosh no,
Just
or at least not by
disappeared.
anyone who would, Pethel admitted to seeing some pink bubbles.
Pink bubbles.
Yeah, but sort of no one sees
I was
Mew.
gaslighted so hard. Over
That's right.
that.
Phil getting Pink Panther vibes from the music, apparently.
Oh, it does feel like.
Is Fly not a thing on the island? Well, we didn't find it.
That's right.
Was it actually there somewhere? No.
I think the idea is that maybe we would.
Yes and no. So Fly was never on the island in any way that you could get, but it was intended to be originally. So the idea was at a certain point you were going to get Fly, and then you'd be able to backtrack, and then by backtracking you'd be able to visit the Pokemon Center
Yeah.
in the first town. But the way it went, it just didn't end up happening because backtracking would have just entered more time sinks that we couldn't
Yeah.
afford into the
Yeah.
roleplay. So Fly
awkward.
works. You just have to have been at the region before. And the slight variant we had is you had to have a Pokemon capable of flying you. That was the other thing that was going to be relevant.
Yeah.
I don't think we had anyone.
Not yet.
None of you had any
we
flying
had
Pokemon.
one flying
You had
I had
Pikachu, but Pikachu wouldn't have been able to learn fly.
Me.
Unless it evolved into.
Fletchinder.
Well, even then. Oh, no.
Or is it? No, is it? It's
No,
Pikachu,
Pikachu.
Toucanny.
Yeah.
I would have let an
Toucannon.
evolve form carry one of you.
Yeah.
But not all of you.
Didn't I have 2 dragon types? Hold on.
It depends on if they get big
You
enough
had
to fly.
Applin?
Oh,
You absolutely, a fully evolved
Yeah.
Ploddle, you absolutely could have flown
yes. But Applin doesn't turn into it unless it's not Appleton, the other one.
them. Yeah, so it depends on when you would have gone Appleton 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
He smells like apple pie. Like, oh.
yeah,
Trish says it's Trumbeak, then toucan.
yeah. Well,
Oopsies.
there you go.
Pokemon knowledge expert.
Yeah, not familiar with
I
that
actually
one.
picked. I picked Pick-a-Peck for the island. A lot of the Pokemon were chosen because of the global region that was set, because it was kind of meant to be set in the Bermuda Triangle. That was the real world reference for this place, was Bermuda Triangle. That's why it's
cool,
called the
isn't it? It's
Perdido
disappearing.
region, which is a Spanish or Portuguese word. I'm not sure, but basically a lot of the naming conventions.
Lost.
Basically, yeah. It's very simple, but Pokemon's very simple. Yeah, so a lot of the early naming and stuff was all related to that. And then the Pokemon were all related to the geographical region. That's why there was a Pick-a-Peck, because toucans, and toucans are from that region.
Shroomish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not everything perfectly matches, but I just was like, are these things in this area?
Yeah, just to give the
Ekans.
vague vibe. Yeah. Very
And that's
cool.
why Gen 1 was easier to place, because Gen 1 Pokemon are more just like animals. So it's easier to be like, yeah, that exists there, sure.
Speaking of which, should we do a quick shot change?
A quick shot?
I meant to
No,
all the
Dave.
Pokemon that
Yeah,
Murray's
if
kind
we
of
can.
laid out, if we can.
Murray,
Hi.
activate celebratory camera mode.
Well, there's some things here.
Yay,
Da, 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 da.
Look at them all.
Is that all of them? No.
Oh, no.
Oh, Dave hidden some.
Oh, not oddish.
Oh, Oddish.
Did you look behind here?
Oh, no. No.
There probably were a bunch there.
Oh, hold on.
I had a
Hold
bunch when
on.
I knocked over everything.
Oh, no.
Side up that you have.
Say that?
God. Weed God is having a bad day.
No, not oddish. She's acting odd.
Oh, it's the...
Oh, Mimiku.
She's so cute.
Sweet.
Oh, there goes one.
What was that?
I don't know. I just saw it fly off.
Something somewhere. Oh, Shellos.
Oh,
Great Slayer.
Shells.
Hang on, let's put him just behind Brad.
In front of Krabby Core.
Da-da. Da-da.
Oh, yeah, there was a Caterpie as well.
There was a box over there, wasn't there, Dave? Like a box. That's where I found them all last time.
I think they've been
Okay.
fenced. Yeah.
Poor Caterpie, whose only appearance was to get absolutely slam dunked every single time.
Yo.
I mean, it's a Caterpie.
IRL. Yep.
So there's our Pokemon roster. There is the Pokemon we painted up just for this roleplay. The rules that we made just for this roleplay. It was a lot.
Yeah, that is impressive.
It's
So-
kind of crazy.
If anyone wants a Pokemon, you can take them on.
I'm taking the shigs.
No, we're taking him home and we're swapping our campaign from D&D to Pokemon at home. So
Oh, nice. Nice.
I'll improve
Can
the
you
rules
imagine
a
if the
little bit.
monsters you brought out you just do regular D&D and then you bring out like a Psyduck?
Obliterates you all.
Yeah.
So everyone,
Very cute.
I think that pretty much wraps it up from us, but we have people's questions, patrons' questions.
Yes,
People-
let's
the
get into
people-
that. I'm looking forward to it.
So let's smash it out.
Yes.
So I put the words out for questions, and I'm going to read questions to us,
Whoa.
and we can answer them.
That's wild.
So the first question is from the patron Tigerino, and asks, will there be a Christmas special episode, and will Rob be back? Does anyone have the answer to that question that isn't me?
Well, I hope so.
I mean, he
Yeah.
came back,
Purely because I want to do it.
yeah, he came back last year for it. so-
Yeah, my belief is yes and yes. I think it will be different. Maybe we'll make someone else run it, someone that's never run it before.
Not me.
Don't say
Murray,
that.
Jen.
Not me.
I don't know. So we'll probably, I think it's a tradition. We'll do a Christmas
Right. I
episode.
mean, the bar's not too high, Jen. Just if you're going to do a murder mystery, don't make the body disappear. That's fine.
that was so fun.
That was really fun.
It was just like, well, I don't care anymore because I can't go to jail for a dead body that doesn't exist.
Jamming is hard, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Jamming is hard, and it's very easy to make a mistake. You got to not be afraid to walk it back. You just go, that was dumb. Sorry. Of course, the body's there. It's what happens in the. Not sorry. I don't want to feel like I'm singling out Jazza for that. I've made many, many guffs.
I've made many guffs too. It's like the one time I did it.
You were great.
No.
It's so good.
No.
Go, everyone, go watch the Wizard of
No,
Oz.
do not.
The Wizard of Oz roleplay on the channel. It's the one time Jen has ever GM'd anything, and it's live and it's on the channel.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that one.
Oh, it's awful.
It's a Wizard of Oz one. Did I dance? I had like a dance fight at the end of it.
Something like that. I remember I
feel like my
specifically-
character was like big into jazz hands and like dance battles.
The only
you do.
thing,
That sounds Wizard of Ozzy.
the only thing I remember was I was like, you have to do this thing, and they didn't do the thing, and I'm like, please, for the love of God, do the thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't want to do the thing. Like, oh.
It was fantastic.
Anyway, it's hard.
Nice things can't have.
Like, it's the one thing that happens in the Wizard of Oz. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
Go
yeah,
on
we
the yellow
hope
brick
Rob
road.
will be here.
Yes.
Put the water on the witch.
I see.
Anyway,
Ginger Jedi asks, when will you make an in-depth video explaining the differences and improvements of Gateway versus Cogent? It's been close to a year and I still don't see any way that Gateway is better than Cogent. So the fair and balanced response to this is you may never, because roleplay systems are incredibly subjective. And if you're in love with Cogent and it fits everything you want to do, you may not prefer Gateway roleplay. Gateway roleplay system is something that improves a bunch of the things we didn't like about Cogent and allows us to develop it because we couldn't develop Cogent. So examples of that is a robust combat system that doesn't have a whole bunch of massively swingy issues, because Cogent roleplay could very easily have a top tier bad guy instantly killed by a single bad roll. Also a negative reinforcement loop spiral, whereby the more damage you take, the more you're penalized, which means that if you lose, you keep losing, which means resource expenditure is usually done up front and then it feels bad because you're always out of resources. There's a lot of things, a lot of it is focused on the combat, and we haven't really shown off or developed like all the good parts of the combat. You've only seen a few tutorials and the roleplay stuff, and the roleplay stuff's quite similar. Like you say, is it better? It's similar. It's skill checks, dice pools.
and Gateway is still in production and soon
Yeah,
to
it's
be
being developed.
in alpha. Oh, in beta.
It's soon
alpha?
to be alpha, and it's
Yeah.
soon to be almost pre-alpha, but released to patrons very soon. We'll be doing a video very soon going through everything. And yeah, there's no upset or ego in it, just saying like you may not prefer it, but we prefer it, and that's what matters. And more importantly, we can actively develop it.
Yeah.
We can add to it. We can improve it. We can support it. So that's the most important thing. The next question is from Butterfingers49. How many armies does everyone have each, and how many points is each army? Oh, they want to suss it out. Elle, how many armies do you have, and how many points are your armies?
This is one army and two.
That's how many armies I have.
Hell yeah, 2 brain cells.
Jen?
Oh, okay. So I have Sisters of Battle, which is probably, I worked this out the other day. I can play a 1,000-point game and probably have a tiny bit more than that with the knight.
With new points. Worth remembering.
Yeah, that's the problem. Though.
No,
New
the points have shrunk in time. So like 1,000 points now, I think is less, like a lot less than it would have been.
But I did this a few weeks ago. So there's that. I have 1,000 points for Age of Sigmar's Daughters of Cain, which is also very cool. I have Sylvanas. I have 1,000 points, over 1,000 points, I think. And I think that's it.
Lots of small forces and single models painted for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got maybe not 1,000 points of Dark Elder, but Dark Elder. So
Oh, you had a good 1,000 points of Dark Outer at
I haven't
least.
looked at it in a long
Yeah, yeah.
time. So yeah, they're the ones I care about.
Yeah. Murray?
Yeah, I'm sort of hedging my guesses with the new points, which slowly getting my head around. I think I've got about 2,000 points of Imperial Guard still, because tanks still take a chunk.
Yes, they do. 70 points.
All the infantry is probably like a total of 560 points, and the rest is vehicles. Tau is a good question. I've probably got at least 1,000 points of that. What else got? 1,000 Suns, maybe 500, 600 points. What else is there? I've got a bunch of space. Like, I've got a lot of armies that are just sort of in boxes still.
Yeah.
So I've got
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
You can't talk about unbuilt models.
A couple of them are built.
Okay.
Yeah, I've started building Blizzardman. I've only built one of the new units, the new Saurus Warriors, otherwise just the Carnosaur. Because they got rid of my Razordon.
It's like one of this.
Oh,
No, yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
is that with the crystal in its back?
You did such a good job of
No,
that.
it's the little salamander with the spikes all over it that sort of
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's one of the
You
ones
bought
that
it in Finecast.
Yeah, I finally painted it to completion. They got rid of it. And I'm
course.
swapping out all my Croc score. So yeah, there's technically currently not a lot of points of Lizardmen. Maybe 500 in the old ones. And Tyranids. Tyranids. I think there's
Over 1,000.
Oh yeah, just.
Got a Norn emissary, surely.
I'm not even sure we got to that, and we had to match the Space Bears, but I think
was like
I think it's
1,000 points. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Norn Emissary, that'll take it to 1,000. Yeah. Oh, and Horus Heresy Ultramarines, which I think I have about 1,500.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I think.
I got about maybe 2,500 of Alpha Legion for Horus Heresy. Characters add a lot. And Exodus was just like another 200 points.
Sure did.
One model. I've got like across all its paint jobs, I have like 4,000 or 5,000 points of Chaos Space Marines. It's actually insane when you put it down because I have so many Forge World models that are so expensive. Like Fire Raptor, 300 points. So like Sakaran, 250 points. They all just go like, I've got 2 Defilers, they're 250 points each. So it just goes like boom really quickly. And I've got like 20 Terminators and that's like 800 points. So lots of Chaos Space Marines, but painted in a lot of different periods. Bugger All Tau, maybe 1,000 points of Trader Guard, but it's not a functional army's 1,000 points. It's like 500 points that make sense. And then a lot of random vehicles and artillery just stuck on the end.
Sigma?
Over 1,000 of Stormcast Eternals, maybe 1,500, 2,000. So I have 1,000 without even looking at special characters. I've got a Star Drake. I've got first edition Star. I've probably got 2,000 plus of Stormcast. And then a bunch of abandoned, half-painted Cities of Sigmar and Lumineth Realm Lords things. And that's basically it because I'm a hobby butterfly and I start painting a squad and then I give up on it. Tau, I've got like 200 points of random painted
They're
models.
on display.
Yeah, some cool concept forces.
That was a big answer to a small question. Chris Clark says, with all the amazing work you've done with Space Bears, do you have any plans or ideas of doing more releases? For example, Trader Guard parts, full models, or an enemy for the Space Bears? I think whatever you did would do pretty well. Also, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Look, I'll just say yes, and we'll leave it there. We are working on things that we're working on exciting stuff.
We're also still delivering for Space Bears.
Yeah, and we don't. What we're really conscious of is we don't want to be the guys and gals who. I'm that damn gender neutral guys guy. I always just think of it as completely different. We don't want to be the people who like immediately announce and promise something before we've fulfilled the first thing. So we want to get all the Kickstarter stretch goals out, and then we're going to talk about what we're doing next. That we are going to be doing something. It will be cool. Alicia Lowry, I know that person, says, what's your favorite character artwork?
I see.
Is this Pokemon specific?
Time or
We'll give you 2. Do Pokemon. If it's not going to take too long to think about, do Pokemon, then do all time.
I mean, I've got to be biased and say my own character.
Stormy,
My favorite artwork. Because, I have this idea and then it comes to life and it looks awesome. I think all time. I mean, I've seen the Iron Spire art. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. Does that count?
It's hard because Alicia does different styles. So it's
Yeah.
also like if
The
you have a preference of
art is
style.
really cool.
Yeah.
I like all art except AI.
preach?
Yeah.
My favorite in Pokemon is, I think, actually Melanie.
Oh, really?
I think she's a really cool vibe, and
thanks.
if I think of Pokemon, that she's awesome.
Aw,
It's really
that's
cool.
sweet.
And out of everything, I want to say in Reboot, big metal trenchcoat man.
Oh,
Incongruent second
Yes.
art where he's got the mark, like the one on the poster.
Yes.
That's cool art.
Yeah, it's sweet as hell.
That was what I was going to say too. It's got to be Johnny from Reboot in the art on the poster. It's so good. It's like Terminator meets an Aussie Outback guy.
The reboot one that I really liked, I don't know her name, but she had kind of like pink hair, but not fully pink.
Gab.
It was like growing
Yeah.
out. Yeah. I really liked that art. That was a cool vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the reboot art is so good.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I just like it visually popped in
Yeah.
my head, and I was like, her art was so
I remember
good.
seeing that art and being like, I'm not even listening. I'm just staring at the art. Like,
That's right. After tonight, we're going to pop the green screen. You're just going to sit here and stare at the poster.
yeah.
Yeah, because the posters have changed behind us. Yeah.
Which you'll appreciate, Dave. I specifically put that one in the corner, so when we do Tuesday videos, it's in plain
Oh
sight.
hell yeah! Thank you for doing that. Oh my
That
gosh,
one's for you.
Jen. I may as well because I said
Yeah.
Pokemon.
You.
Yeah, who was your favorite, Dave?
No, you know
Girls.
what? I do really like the one I asked to do for Tucker because I said like put the Pokeball in the hat and the
Yeah.
hat's like
Yeah.
floating and it's really fun. But it's a self-insert, so actually no. I think my favorite might be Arden. I really like Arden. I think he's cool. And it's Arden with the curlier on his shoulder because it's just
Yeah.
a vibe. I really like Arden.
Absolutely.
Like that one.
For me, for Pokemon, I like Tucker. I think he's really cool. I thought it was really fun. And for any other, for me, it's Eve, 100%. I think having done a character that I was like, this is my inspiration and this is what I want it to be, and she just took it to a whole other level and went along with all of my silliness. That like the fact that she put a Band-Aid on her and gave her the yellow puffer jacket.
Yellow
like,
jacket.
There's this whole story.
Eve's
arc.
amazing.
So
Yeah, Eve. God, the reboot art is so good.
It's so good.
Like
she did such a good
the
job.
Iron Spire art's amazing as well. Obviously, all the art's great, but I think it's because it's like I've seen a million generic fantasy things.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Iron
yeah.
Spire, the art is great, but I've seen a lot of great fantasy art. Cyberpunk is a lot more niche, so I think the characters just drip with personality,
it's
and
niche,
it's just
but
like
also Cyberpunk is about pushing things to extreme,
Yes.
so you can do it with the art.
you
as
can
well.
characterize really well because they have all these accessories, they have gadgets, and it's so good.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
music as well. I feel like there's a lot of really good inspiration that can be found from Reboot.
Thank you, Alicia, for your question. Gwankster says, what has been your favorite moment so far across all campaigns?
All right, Dave.
Oh, I have to pick one. That's rough.
That's a huge question. And okay, a lot of people have asked multiple questions, so what I'm going to do is just do one.
From every-
Whatever
we'll
your
go
first
back.
one is, I'm doing it, and if we have time, we'll go back and go through them. So we get this. What has been your favorite moment across all campaigns?
I mean, I've already done two, so I can
Yeah.
go first if you'd like.
Yeah?
I still love, I think it was one of the most chaotic episodes, this is that duck episode
The
of
duck
Call
in.
to Quest.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I think maybe that was one of the sessions when our CO2 was really high and we were going crazy. But
We
it
all
was
just
a lot
melted
of
a bit.
fun. We were just, it was beautiful. So I like that. The ducks.
Doing that, someone?
I've almost got decision paralysis because I've done too many.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I was
the
saying.
less
So I was
you've
like,
done, the
I'll go
easier it
first
is.
because
Yeah.
I got
There's
two
a lot of
choose.
good moments, but I want us to say something, but maybe not for the implication or setting in the campaign. I want to say me playing like I've forgotten his name.
Elias?
Elias, yes.
In Reboot.
In Reboot.
Yeah.
Not because I'm patting myself on the back or anything, but for the fact in the after party said patron, Mr. Tickleduck, was so happy that I had somehow actually nailed the character, which
sweet.
I just sort of went down a limb and was like, oh, probably like this. That made me really happy.
Mine's going to be self-congratulatory and a bit of a wank, but it was actually a lot of work between me and Jazza, and it was the
Oh, yeah.
Sparrow reveal.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Sparrow reveal was so good, and like,
Yeah, and had us all.
and to be honest, I GM so much that my moment has to be a player.
Yeah.
Like that's when you're in the game. I'm facilitating the game. I'm part of it, but like that moment of getting to play that and have the audience react. I miss playing. Yeah, that's why I'm so
You're
sad.
just too good, Dave.
Delvin, I'm not too good. But I like. Oh, you were talking about GMing. I was thinking
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like, no, Delvin was good. I've had characters that are super mid. Delvin was a damn good character.
I feel like that everyone has like a one character that they really that stands out to them, and you can fluctuate, and that's normal. Yeah.
And Delvin and Brick had such the dynamic in I Inspire was really
Brick was
good.
man.
Brick was great.
Brick was great.
Brick was my favorite character that Rob ever played.
Same, yeah, 100%. One of the top ones, definitely. For me, again, it's the season finale with Eve, letting everyone know what her real name was.
And being Eve.
Being Eve.
Oh my
Spelled backwards.
That's spelled backwards. Yeah.
You had so many great moments where you brought levity to that role play where we really needed it. I loved you as Eve.
She'll be missed.
So, question, can you give Dave a big round of applause for doing, this is from Phil.
Absolutely.
Big round of applause for doing such a great job bringing Pokemon to Gateway. In brackets. I mean, technically you just need to answer yes or no, but doing the applause would be great.
Yes. Obviously.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the question,
A lot of
Phil.
work.
Insanity Wolf says, will you still be supporting Cogent when Gatecrash releases? I've been working on additions to Cogent for your own campaign, including classes and a magic system, which have been easy due to how Cogent is designed. Cogent is uniquely great for new players. Cogent is fantastic. It's designed for that. It will continue to be supported in the exact same capacity it's been supported for the last 12 to 18 months, which is it's free and it's online, but we can't work on it and we haven't been developing it, and we love that fans enjoy it, and it's something that Jazza and Shad made way back. Have fun with it.
I think the Discord is still up, isn't it?
Discord's super good. There's a big community and they're doing a great job,
Yeah.
but we cannot afford to work on it.
Yeah.
We have to work on something that we can develop and work on, and we can't actually make changes to it because like me and Jazza can't. So it is what it is, and we won't be like removing the website or anything.
Yeah,
it's
still-
going to stay the way it
still
is.
there.
But
Moving on to other things.
rest assured, if you do want to try Gateway, the idea for Gateway is it is going to be plug and play in an, I would say, almost more, it's less. Cogent is a really rules light system, which means it's super easy to make up stuff and homebrew. What we're trying to do with Gateway is make a super easy, like create your perfect campaign, because you'll be able to plug and play. Like you'll be able to go, I want alchemy from Luchavera. I want these 3 weapon classes. I don't want guns, so we're not doing black powder. I want those 2 magic schools and this. That's my setting. Boom. So you'll be able to basically like cherry pick all these things, and it's like as easy as picking. Just going that.
Yep.
Those modules are being
Taking
used.
them and using
Super easy. But then you can also make your own, and it's going to be easy to do that as well. But anyway, I won't go into it. Cogent's cool. Keep enjoying it. We're not getting rid of it, but we haven't worked on it for like 18 months. The last time any work was done on it was me homebrewing rules for Reboot Season 2. That was the end of it. Irunia says, if the player characters battle each other in a tournament-style Pokemon episode, who would win?
Ooh.
Me.
Probably Melanie.
I was going to say Melanie. I feel like you have the most balanced
That's great.
team.
Me. Yeah, probably.
I think it's because she doesn't have the most balanced team. I think she's got the
strongest.
the most dragons, and she's got a second evolution that knows sleep and can get health back.
Lottelai's pretty pro.
Also, she can massage her own Pokemon.
That's true. Brad, sometimes if his Kingler is up and running, he could take out some things. But I think in general it would be Melanie.
It's really funny because I've got Lottelai, Ploddle, who are the 2 stronger ones, but then I also have Applin, Paris, and now Schnom, which are like have obviously just been like.
I think Brad would win.
Yeah, Krabby's pretty good.
Yeah, he's got Kingler, which is way stronger than anyone else's
Yeah.
Pokemon by tier. But then also Pyro Web hits you guys hard. It doesn't hit you hard, but a lot of like kind of is not a strong water type because 2 abilities are normal type rest. So I think that Ignisilk would dominate Murray. So in that boom. And I don't think that Stormy's Pokemon are particularly effective against the team. Like there's,
I've also got
you
2
destroy
electric.
Kingler with your electric types.
Yeah,
That could
I've got
change
2
the game.
electric. I think Roltz. If Roltz
What's
is
your other
decent-
electric?
Sorry,
Shinx. Shinx is very weak though. Shinx is a bummer.
Yeah, but a cutie.
Yeah.
Also, I realized I read the card and it said like there's something like you can only do a 3rd damage or something to Shinx for the whole battle.
I didn't actually read what the.
Anyway, it was very funny because I'm not sure I would have won if we implemented that. But I am happy.
Interesting.
But I think it would be closer than people would think because
Okay. I'll take
Fomantis
that.
also did a lot of work. But does he have any other Pokemon? I can't even remember.
Fermentus, Kingler, Paraweb.
That's it.
No, he only had 3.
Yeah, so maybe he wouldn't win because
Yeah.
Big Hiss could do work
Well, that's
against
what I was
type.
thinking. Like,
He
King
has
is
the
strong, but-
advantage on me from Pokemon, but I probably have the knowledge.
More.
That's true. Maybe it would be Victor. It could
still think
also be Melanie. She doesn't have any hugely
I still
strong
like
Pokemon,
Melanie.
but Lorelei has Rest, which is
Yeah.
super strong.
Yeah. And then there's like with the Dragon Tail Bash.
Mm.
Yeah. Not gonna be Melanie.
Aquana says, what else did Dave have planned for the Pokemon campaign if there'd been more episodes?
Good question.
The other half of the map.
Second mountain.
Yeah,
Fire
a lot.
zone.
It would have. So you'll notice the digital maps disappeared after the ghost area because the whole northern continent had to be truncated. It was basically 4 routes that got turned into 2 routes that got turned into roleplay.
Yeah.
So a lot more, which includes HMs, the whole idea of you getting HMs, going back, doing brick break. Oh, I always call it brick break, rock smash. Fly, surf, all of these things were going to be given to you. And there was obviously then the capacity to fill out your teams with the ice type Pokemon, the fire type
type.
Pokemon, because the idea originally was there was 2 mountains, one's a volcano, one's covered in ice, and they're 2 different regions, and you kind of go through them, and then you could build your full teams and then go to the Mystery Island, and it's full of the Mystery Island was going to be full of like big dangerous Pokemon, and you fight battle, get to Mew.
Battles,
Oh my god, could we have
Yeah.
had an episode where we play as our Pokemon?
Maybe like the
Right.
cartoon.
I mean, Murray
yeah, I got
played.
that.
Yeah, Murray played as Cookie for a bit.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
So, and then that also would have opened up with Fly. The idea was that you guys were going to be able to go and like rest at Pokemon Center. So it was going to get harder in terms of the Pokemon you're fighting were going to be tougher. But you basically unlocked, because the idea of the early thing is it was meant to feel like you're cast away and stranded on an island. And then like at the midway point of the campaign, the idea was you were meant to unlock the capacity to go heal at Pokemon Centers, bounce back and forth, and then
grind the Pokemon we wanted.
grind the Pokemon you wanted, catch the Pokemon you wanted, but the challenge would have been way high. So you're more likely to get wiped out, but you can go back. So,
we got a tad distracted. We were just having too much fun.
That's right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Reinstein says, would you ever consider going back to older campaigns or even returning to the world of some one-shots? The main example that comes to mind is Shards of Sunder. It sounded like you had a lot planned, so it would be a shame for it to go to waste.
Shards of Sunder.
Sunder.
Iron
Well, we can all...
Iron
Jazza
Spire.
has...
Oh, right. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Jazza has gone on record multiple times to say this, that he found the process of GMing extremely anxiety-inducing and stressful, and he doesn't really have the time as a full-time YouTuber and production company head man to also give it the time that he felt it needed to be good. So I think that stress element combined with a lack of time means that Jazza has said it's very unlikely that at this stage he will run a season 2 of Iron Spire, but it always sits there open because we know Jazza is very passionate, and like there could be the day where it just hits him and he just goes like, I have the story, I really want to tell it. So never say never. And certainly going back to old one shots, look, to be honest, the fact the cast is different has made it more difficult. Like we talked about going back to Hogwarts and doing that again. We talked about a few ones, but like now that the number of players that are still from that is like 1 or 2 at most.
the same.
It's not the same. So no, I have talked about, I really want to do Fallout, another little Fallout one shot with the same characters, or at least like one of. Well, no, Jazza was in it, so 2 of.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
2 of the same characters, and then basically introduce more, maybe go out in the wastelands.
Yeah.
So absolutely. But right now we're gearing up. We because remember, Pokemon was originally meant to be like a fun little
Couple weeks.
8 episode mini series.
A short series.
It turned into a campaign, and now we're gearing up for Lucifera, which the plan is to be an epic fantasy campaign that hopefully you'll all fall in love with in the same way that you did Iron Spire. It's a little bit more lighthearted, but it will still be serious. It's not like Pokemon. There'll be moments of levity, but also there'll be serious roleplay, and hopefully the first robust testing of Gateway's new combat system, classes, ability to really flesh out your characters. So hopefully that'll be really cool.
I like this music.
This reminds me of Evangelion, like
Oh, the ending
passive
sort of,
music of Evangelion, like they're going to school and not any major moment, just like panning shots of like the Avas getting washed by a power
when
washer
they've won
and
the
stuff.
day, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then cut to some shots of like the traffic. Sorry, the train booms, ding, ding, and then the cicadas in the summer. Yeah, I can see that.
Master Matna says, "What campaigns or one shots would you guys consider revisiting?" Well, I answered that last one. You guys?
Wait, wasn't that the same question?
No, because it's would you and it's
which
would you
ones?
and mostly Sunder. This is which ones would you guys consider revisiting? But I'll let you guys answer it because
I didn't play this
inspired.
one. I don't know. Does this count as a one shot, the Grimm Gang?
yeah.
Because I like the setting of that. I think Grimm, like kind of fairy tales and twisted stuff, is really cool. So I would probably pick that one.
The Grim Gang was fun. That was cool.
Is it specifically revisit? Was that the question?
So-
Okay.
One
Revisit.
shots or just any campaign?
One shots or campaigns that you would want to revisit.
I'd want to do Hogwarts. I never got to do Hogwarts, so I think I'd want to give it a shot.
Oh, it really is just Jazza from Hogwarts left. Okay. All right.
Hogwarts sort of sounds like fun, but otherwise, I don't know. I think reboot would be kind of fun. Like,
Really? We've had two seasons of reboot.
I played someone else's character technically.
Yeah.
It was a one shot.
Do you like the sound of reboot?
I don't mind. I like sci-fi.
The honest truth with reboot is if we went back to reboot, it would have to not be
the
campaign.
same people.
the same.
Yeah.
It would be like reboot and we'd set it in America or we'd set it in
Yeah.
Perth or something. It would be
That'd be
different
cool.
characters.
Yeah.
But with the same like meta plot.
Same world. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Okay, so I can't pronounce that. It's N-I-E with umlauts, N-A, Nina Rose. Sorry. Aussie's Butcher Vowels. Did roleplay get you through a tough time or crisis? And if so, how did it help and what did you learn you could apply in real life? Anyone?
I think us doing reboot season 1, so starting out in Jazz's little studio, you can tell from the first couple episodes it was really hard because it was the first time we'd done something like we've performed to camera before, like that hasn't been too much of an issue. We used to stream, but like to role play on camera is hard because you have to be in character and people are watching you and judging you. So that was really tough for me, who like I'm quite shy. I get anxiety, but it sort of was really fun to also be like, well, I'm not being me, I'm being someone else. So it's fine. And whatever they're saying, I cannot connect that to myself. I can connect it to the character if I want to. And everyone ended up falling in love with Eve. So it was a really good experience.
Anyone else?
I mean, I started like my first kind of role playing, which was like not the end of COVID, but when things were opening up a bit more in Melbourne. So I think that kind of got me through pandemic a bit.
Yeah.
Just having that connection, and also because we couldn't go anywhere, we couldn't go out and do these things. So having a character that was able to do really cool things and go on adventures was very freeing, and also very good for like a time that felt almost creatively we didn't have much to go off. So yeah, I'd say it helped.
I'd say for me, not really, but it has certainly kept me having friends in a way that I'm an inherently reclusive Bernard Black character of a person who just likes to be in my house.
Yeah.
And roleplay is the like cornerstone that continually means that every week I see friends and
Yeah.
they say, hey, you're not dead. That's interesting. So it's very important in that regard because I always enjoy being with my friends, but I never want to leave my house.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel that.
I can't say that roleplay has provided me such a cornerstone moment, so I don't want to pretend that it has. However, it has afforded many very entertaining moments with friends that like we still recall every guff and flub that my best friend and DM does. We still give him shit for like years and years on. We will make fun of him for saying foot gauntlets when he didn't know how to say sabatons or metal boots or something. And I personally generally like to take a sort of supporting role, especially if there's new people starting in our group. and I'll just sort of like help them sort of come up with whatever goal that they want to accomplish for their first time. I enjoy that sort of thing. And then that person really gets into it and they go behind everyone's backs and whisper things to the DM and things that they want to set in motion secretly. And then in our campaign, we are still finding things that this person has done behind our backs from years ago. Yeah. There's like a statue of him in the basement of our castle that we found like 2 months after he had to leave the group. It's amazing. I love it.
Timothon Timmy says, are you ever planning on doing more with the World of Sunder? And I've been watching it. Feels like I think we've answered that question. So thank you for asking it. Hopefully one day. Brian McKelvey says, I would love to hear what happened to those who stayed on the island in Pokemon. Does Victor join the Rangers? Is the pirate who owns the salty sardine still on the island? And does Whitler ever find the older woman? I'm going to say, I think we also covered that in the epilogue bit.
Yeah, specifically, I think every single
yes, and yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes. Tickle Duck, do you guys want to revisit the Pokemon RP later in the future? And if you do, will you want to continue with the current characters or make some new ones?
Hey, I've wanted a good Pokemon game for a while, and if the bloody Game Freak won't give it, then I'll rely on Dave.
Would you come back as Victor?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I'd happily do near anything. I think Victor, a new thing as a Gen Z playing as Pokemon, we could do the was it the Pokemon Dungeon sort of thing where you play as the Pokemon?
That'd be cool. Thought.
I'd like to come back as an older Stormy. Maybe have a bit of a character change. She's going through a teen phase.
I think I play different. Halfway through the campaign, I realized the kind of person I wanted to play.
You always do that, though.
Yeah. I actually think I should have played like a ghost type trainer and been really
an actual ghost.
Yeah, she's been a ghost. No, and be like sort of cynical and dour and sarcastic.
So gloomy,
yeah. And be a child as well. I thought that would have been really fun.
That would have been like a fun like sunshine versus shadows.
Yeah.
Wednesday Addams, the Pokemon trainer.
Basically, yeah. And then have these really goofy ghost Pokemon. But I love Melanie and I love all the Pokemon that she's had. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also like, this would also be a really cool character to play. But yeah.
No.
Can't blame you there.
So I honestly, it's been a lot of fun. Like it's been really fun, but the amount of work required to do it, and for it's like a lot of work and a lot of constantly throwing stuff that you've put together and you hope it's cool in front of people, and like half the time it lands and half the time it doesn't land, and then you kind of have to deal with like the feels bad when it's like poorly balanced because you made it, but you only made it and didn't play test it. But then like you can't blame anyone, but you as the GM also didn't sign up to be constantly like having your half-baked work like on display and constantly being put to the test. I don't know, like it's just too much time
as just a role play rather than with the game, like the combat.
Well, I think the combat could be tweaked. I think playing as Pokemon would be manageable, but yeah.
Question: would you do the Pokemon campaign as a player?
Yeah, absolutely. It looked really fun. It looked so much fun. Of course I'd do it. It's just a lot of work to if magically I had like the first 252 Pokemon just made and statted, yeah, I'd do it. Happily run it. But having the thought, I'm already getting the sweats of stress of thinking about having to do it.
It's all right, relax.
So Becca Beth says, will we ever get a beach episode for this Pokemon world? Oh wait, the entire campaign is kind of a beach episode. The beach episode concept is always something I like to have in the back pocket. It's a great way of filling a week where we, like in between campaigns, we've learnt over the history of the channel how devastating not uploading is. It's ridiculous with these role-playing channels. Like if you don't do an upload for a week, we were looking at the views before the thing of some of our previous role plays, and there were role play seasons where we literally lost a third of our audience because we didn't upload an episode for 2 weeks. And then it was like something had happened, obviously, but a third of the views, it just goes like consistently, and then a third drop from a 2-week hiatus. So you really can't afford it. You have to do an upload every week, and it's a really great way to fill that gap.
Yeah, which I think because we did the pre-recorded episodes while we were in America, and I don't think that significantly impacted Pokemon. I think it has its usual dips as the series goes on. But there was nothing that made us go like, oh my God, that's a huge drop.
Yeah, well, if we had those 4 weeks off, that
There's
would have
no
been
way.
crazy. I don't think we would have finished
Yeah.
No.
the campaign. Yeah.
There was a comment saying, well, why not do that over time? Make a few Pokemon at a time. Because I don't have time. I think it's a thing that people often don't understand because their context of role play or something is like they role play and they run it, because there will be no time where I'm not prepping for the current campaign. So Lucifera, I'm going to be doing gateway dev, developing rules. I'm going to be doing Lucifera prepping for the sessions. So there's no, my tank will be empty at all times for developing games and rules. And you got to have free time as well. So,
And then you're working on the actual Tabletop Time channel
yeah,
for the rest of the time.
The main, yeah, for sure. Tris has asked 13 questions. The first, you know what? I said I'm going to read the top one. But I'm going to skip the top 5 because they're all for specific people. And I'm just going to say, Q for all, number 1. If you were to be a Pokemon trainer, what would be your type specialty, or what is your favorite type?
Very.
Fairy trainer?
Very.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, you guys kind of, well, Melanie made, Jen, with Melanie made yourself, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, so you went
fairy
for
water
fairy
is
water,
pretty, accurate to what I do.
That's hard for me because I could sit here and think, I really like how this type and this type and this type, and then I just sit there at the end and go, I've listed every single type in this world. But I think I tend to always end up predominantly with like water Pokemon.
Okay.
So probably subconsciously that.
I also like fairy, but I think grass type is, especially with the starters, always the ones I lean towards is grass. So, yeah.
Yeah, like I always go the water starters.
Yeah.
Squirtle, Totodile. Yeah.
I would go either dragon type or psychic type or ghost type, but probably dragon or psychic. I guess it comes with the question of if you get any of the powers in the world. Like, I mean, I know that sounds like the easy out is like, I'd be a psychic trainer because then I have magic psychic powers. But I feel like there'd be like if you had even a really small amount of that, so you could like connect with the psychic Pokemon and do cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. If I was a normal person, I'd be a dragon tamer and I would be going, because they're the ones that I go like, they're so cool. Or rock. But I would be entirely fossil focused. So if you could do the fossils, I'd be a fossil trainer. Yeah. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we have 5 minutes. In this 5 minutes, we're going to lightning round.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to go to Gwenx's second question. What kind of campaigns did you play before playing here on Tabletop Time? And I'm going to say I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition, 5th edition, and also a lot of World of Darkness and the various games in the World of Darkness universe, Hunter, Vampire, etc. That's done.
I played 2 D&D campaigns. That's it.
Yep. One overarching D&D campaigns, which has been about 6 different campaigns sequentially throughout a world, and also occasionally changing systems. Like we started with like 2.5, 4th Ed, Pathfinder, dabble in some other system, and 5th edition.
D&D, Vampire, and we are starting Daggerheart right now.
Cool. Arunia says, what are the things that you guys liked using the new game system and things you wished you would have done differently, just besides jailing Dave's dice? So let's get one positive thing. And if you have a critique, throw it out there.
I mean, you my critique. It was just sleep. And you changed it. So
Yeah. Some unbalanced stuff like sleep, which you can't know until you've play tested it. It
Yeah.
seemed fine on paper. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And something I liked about the new game system, I think this was a really robust test of familiars and monsters, which I think that people don't really understand that that was what it was for. This wasn't a test of the abilities system. Like your trainer abilities kind of sucked. They just threw them together. It was about monsters. This was the trial of monsters, because the same rules that the Pokemon used are how minions are going to work. Like in terms of having a card with some abilities on it.
Yeah.
So great.
I really like that. The cards. Yeah. Right, Donald Duck.
Yeah, I don't really know anything hugely stand out for bad. I think it was just fun. Like I think Pokemon has ups and downs as well, like the actual games. So I think the positive is that you really captured the feel and experience of the game and the world.
Yay!
Negative is probably just the downfall of having to sort of take turns with like 4 people. Sometimes you miss out on a thing. Like some people missed out on something they really liked, that sort of thing. But yeah, probably that.
Yeah. And I will quickly say the reason that was, and people had sort of questioned it, is that because the Pokemon all had to be balanced and leveling wasn't like, and it would have been literally impossible to do this. Like it would have been impossible to have a comprehensive level scaling system and powers and all that.
Yeah.
So because that didn't exist, every encounter would have been way too easy because all the Pokemon had to be on balance. The Pokemon you caught and played with was the same stats as the monster you fought, but it would have been 4v1 every time. So that's why we took turns. Whether or not we make it so you have no set order and you swap, but then how do you make sure everyone gets a fair go? It was an awkward situation.
Yeah,
So.
no, I think the way we did it was probably the best.
The way
like,
to go,
just
yeah.
But it had flaws.
take a turn. Yeah.
Jen, quickly, lightning round.
Positive. I like pairing traits and attribute traits and skills. I like that.
That's
good.
great.
Negative. I still don't know why you wouldn't take Knack over Grit.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Knack is great.
But I think that's because we didn't get
You didn't
injured
get hurt.
as
Yeah, the trainer
trainers.
isn't getting punched in the face
Yeah.
as much.
In
Still think
actual
Knack's great.
RP.
Knack is really good.
Grit is good for damage.
Yep. But,
That's.
yeah.
But I might see that in a different campaign.
Counterpoint, Grit got me cookie.
Yeah, so I think grit will be used a lot when you're about to lose your last HP before getting injured, which is going to matter a lot.
Yeah.
That last health before getting knocked into injured in combat, it's
Okay,
huge,
all right.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
I completely get that. Aquana says, what is everyone's favorite project, terrain, minis, or artworks that has stemmed from an RP campaign? Again, the lightning round.
Alicia's posters.
Cool.
Same.
Yeah, I gotta go.
It's impossible not to say Alicia's art, but if the angle was a on-table build, I really liked Ugly's Bar. I thought Ugly's Bar is really cool.
I gotta give a shout out to all the Pokemon that were painted.
Oh, yeah,
that you
yeah,
can see. Like they're just beautiful.
Yeah. Very nice.
Osgilith says, what plans do you have for future campaigns or one-shots? Lucha Vera. I'm just going to say Lucha Vera, but then I'm going to say, because that's going to be a campaign that goes for like 20 weeks. So, but I'll answer your next question because that was such a nothing one. What advice do you have for rookie GMs in terms of building larger campaigns and worlds? Don't over prep, but don't under prep. Take keynotes, be flexible, create towns and names and locations, but let them be fluid. So if you have a town that you need to suddenly be in front of them, let it be in front of them. Like it doesn't matter until the players visit it. If the town is like has these characters in it or these characters in it, that can be fluid based on what the campaign needs. So don't over prep and be over rigid, but don't under prep. So you need to know what's going on.
Alicia pops her head in just to see us all declare that her artwork was the best part of the role plays.
Amazing.
Master says,
Deserved.
will Rob be back for future Christmas one-shots? Probably not. Probably not. Probably yes.
Yes,
Probably
he
yes.
did
The
say
opposite
so.
of probably not.
Yeah.
Will Rob be back for future Christmas one-shots? Yes, we hope
What's
so.
the second question we've done?
Yeah, we love Rob.
Sweet.
He was
Twist
back
his
last
arm.
time. Hopefully he'll be back for the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah. What is your favorite reference for the TCT roleplay stations that did not revert to the source material? I don't really understand that question. I'm
Not
sorry.
refer to the source.
Maybe revert or refer to the source
Didn't
material.
refer to Pokemon.
Maybe like an inspiration that it wasn't directly based off. Turned out Cyberpunk 2077, which I played after making Reboot, and that was awesome. So it wasn't really an inspiration. Blade Runner. I know you guys are strapped with time, but you guys ever want to play board games on stream for videos? I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see you all play something like Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Ooh.
It would be cool. We could maybe do that on a Tuesday night. That's about the best we could promise. Like a role play instead of a role play video. We
Maybe
could
if
play
you
a
like
game.
didn't have enough people when you needed them for the story.
A role
then
playing
do
game.
Games.
Like a game that has role playing
Like
elements, but is a
well,
board
that's
game.
why they're saying like Betrayal.
Yeah.
On a role play channel context, I was gonna say no way, but on a role playing
With
channel
the camera
context,
too, it could work.
it could work. I don't mind it. That's actually a cool idea for if we had a week where someone was sick or something.
Yeah, cool. Noted.
I'm sure you hear this a lot, but are you planning to revisit previous campaigns, namely Iron Spire? So there you go. We've covered that. And the next Q for 2 from Tris is if you had to replay the campaign again, but as a Pokemon, what would you play as and why?
I'm going to say Clefairy.
Clefairy?
Because 1, cute as hell. 2, because I wanted to know how metronome would work in your world.
Did you like Metronome?
I did.
I was actually going to say Jigglypuff
Hey,
because I think it would be fun. Just
pink
to be like,
power, pink fluff. Hell yeah.
What would you pick, just if you had to play?
And that was a Pokemon.
right.
No, because you no legendaries.
Okay, all right.
Assuming you have to start as like a first Evo.
Yeah.
I would probably play an Abra.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love psychic Pokemon, but there's a lot of inbuilt personality in a Pokemon that just wants to nap everywhere, but then can also freaking teleport. So there's like an element of fun with that I like.
Yeah.
Swablu.
Swablu? Yeah, that makes
Just
sense.
dust.
You get to be a Swablu.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Just get to love myself.
And you know what, everyone? That is lightning round over. Thank you for all the extra questions, everyone. Sorry we couldn't get to everything.
Can
but
I throw one at you, Dave?
Yeah.
Just from the comments, is they're asking where can they find all the Pokemon work
Okay.
that you did?
So the
Will it
Pokemon
be
work-
available for download, or do I have to go to Gateway to get it?
it will be for our patrons, but caveat, but I have to like package it. So I have to export and create some PDFs from all the cards.
Yeah.
And I've scheduled that next Monday. So I'll either upload, realistically, either next Monday or the Monday after I'll upload it.
You mean the Monday that's a public holiday?
And that's
So 2 Mondays. In June sometime, I will upload it. But yeah, there's a public holiday, so I
and
won't be
that's
at work.
to any tier patron. Is that correct?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to make it accessible, but what we may do is give it all to there's a tier that supports Gateway Roleplay, which
Yeah.
is higher tier.
Yeah.
I think we'll give it all to them,
Yeah.
but maybe on like a timed basis. So you guys can have it for like a couple of months, and then we'll give it to everyone for
Yeah.
free. Well, for
there you
Get
the
early
lowest
access.
tier of
That's-
patrons.
yeah,
But
check
that
out
hasn't
Patreon.
been 100% decided.
That may
But
change.
I think we'll definitely give it immediately and early access, all Gateway things related to the Gateway tier.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Next week, we're going to be doing
Fun art.
fan art. Fan art's back. Fan art is back. Next week, we're fan arting.
That's going to be good.
So,
Put your submissions in.
Yeah.
We do check Reddit and we do check the Discord. So they're the best places to submit. And Instagram probably as well.
the place to submit is the Discord channel.
Discord is the best. But
Where
Know what I said.
'cause- Did you say next week's a public holiday on a Monday?
Yes.
This is. Let me just get all the time I have before next
Yeah,
Tuesday.
fair.
Oh, none. So put it in the channel in the format that I can easily scroll through, copy paste,
fair.
right? That person did it. Imagine I'm doing it in 15 minutes before the stream, and that is literally exactly what's going to happen. Thank you all for watching so much. Thanks for your support. If you'd like to support more, Patreon is the best place. Merch is good. Poster, limited time only.
Get it now.
Signed version as well.
And we've loved being able to do this for you. It's been a lot of fun. Don't let my complaining about working on Pokemon. It's been a treat to explore the world with you all. Thank you for role playing with us, and thank you to Jazza. Too bad you're in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Swanning around, being a luxury boy for a big company.
Swan.
All right.
On that note.